stream on Facebook. It won't let me. Fuck. My dock went away. I'm not sure where it went. Too close. I can't reset. Hey, welcome back, everybody, for your 11 o'clock update here on Hurricane Helene. And I want to thank all the new subscribers. We got a bunch of y'all coming on board here. And if you are catching this after the live broadcast, if you could please do me the favor before I get going. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. That way you can keep up on this. Hit that notification bell as I continue to do these updates as we watch closer here as we do have Hurricane Helene, as I said earlier this morning at the 8 o'clock update, that the pressure was definitely low enough to warrant going to become a hurricane, and winds are now officially up to 80 miles per hour. So again, we're going to talk about, then we're going to bounce around here a little bit on some things. Let's go ahead and go straight to the latest coordinates on this so we can get into this right now. Then we'll discuss some other things. So latest coordinates as of 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time, 11 o'clock Eastern. We're at 21.6 north and 86.3, moving north-northwest at about 10. Pressure holding at 979. Now, you may ask, well, how come the pressure hasn't fallen off from the earlier one? Well, it's sitting right near land. It's right near the Yucatan, so that's going to influence it there a little bit there. Maximum sustained winds currently at 80 miles per hour. So, again, we're going to be looking at some things where things are going to kind of go downhill quickly. The new update also increased the strength at landfall from 120 to 125 miles per hour, so it has gone up a little bit. The track is staying generally across West Georgia, those of you in the Columbus market. And I'm going to have to post this on Facebook after the fact. My dual broadcast streaming dock will not come up for some reason, and I'm not going to reset my OBS to do this. I was too close to broadcast to do it. So we will see what goes on with this, but that's what we're looking at right now. Let's go ahead and get into all the nuts and bolts on this thing. Let's break this thing down. Again, as we're kind of looking at the very unique setup. I mentioned this earlier today, and I'll mention it again. This is a very unique situation that you see. I have, in all my years that I've been doing this, I've not seen a situation where you basically got a cutoff low feature here that is going to be, that's drawing this hurricane up here to the north, and they're going to rotate around and basically merge together over land during a landfall. I've never seen that. I think I've seen it a couple times out in the ocean, but not on a landfalling system like this. Very, very unique setup with this right now. Look at the satellite imagery. This is on the visible yet. Notice that we don't have an eye yet. It looks like we may have a little bit of dry air, maybe trying to get in there just a little bit, just kind of looking right through here. Just a little bit of dry air, but we don't have it. Again, you got the Yucatan Peninsula right there, so the center is just offshore. I mean, right about there. So, yeah, so this proximity to the land, it's going to limit it just a little bit, but it's not going to stay that way. Once it starts moving away into that bathwater known as the Gulf of Mexico, and boy, is it's plenty warm out there. I'm going to drop down here to show you the water temperatures down here sitting around 30, 31 degrees. That's between 85 and 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Hurricane can thrive off anything above 80, and when you got water temperatures that warm, you got plenty of stuff to look at. That is for sure, plenty of water to feed off of. That's for sure for this storm. So it's healthy. It's got pretty good outflow in all quads. It's got a nice core going, a central dense overcast with it. So as soon as it pulls away from the Yucatan here throughout the day, I do expect the pressure to go down and it to also strengthen as it moves northward. Regional radar, you kind of see some of the outer bands on this thing down toward Cuba and down toward Florida, just a little bit, but it's a good distance away. But again, you can kind of see this on the radar Mega as well as, oops, let me get that back up here for you. I lowered that down for a second. There we go. And you see the bands coming across Havana right now. So definitely looking a little bit, going to be a little squally there in Cuba over the next few hours. And Key West may also get in on the action as well. With some of the outer squalls moving through there. Again, here's all your watches and warnings, and the whole state of Florida is under, tropical storm warnings. I mean, just about. I mean, almost the entire state. I don't think I've seen that in quite some time. Got the hurricane warnings in there going across Florida and into Georgia. A lot of tropical storm watches up there in Georgia. Plenty of flood watches. Again, this is going to be a significant storm to come through here. So Key West here for the moment, not looking too bad, but there will get some outer squalls, and they're going to be far enough away from the center that they shouldn't see any significant issues there. Just some squally weather, some gusty winds from time to time, but I think they'll be okay there. Tampa, depending on how close it gets to the coastline there, they'll see some outer bands, some squally weather. They'll have to worry about potential tornadoes on some of the outer bands as well as this moves up toward the north. This is going to be ground zero, folks. This is St. George's Island. I was listening to the Coast Guard update on this earlier, and thank you for the new subscriber, by the way. I appreciate that. And they are already doing mandatory evacuations of St. George's Island. They're going to be getting everybody off that island. They're already doing it right now. So they're going to be shutting down that. Hopefully the camera here will stay going here for a while, and we can see how things deteriorate. Now, again, when we're talking about a tropical system, we got to talk about the landfall aspect of this. There is a severe component to this. So the right side of that center of circulation, you're going to be looking at tornadoes, okay? So we got that possibility that's going to be running here, especially along the Georgia, South Carolina coast right through here. That's an enhanced area for tornadoes. Again, we're talking about Savannah, Georgia, Hilton Head, Hinesville, Georgia, Statesville, Georgia, Brunswick, Georgia, those areas. The yellow also in there as well. That's including Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, and Gainesville in there as well for the potential for tornadoes as this system makes landfall. So that's that area right there along the coast. We're getting running about roughly about a 10% chance in that area and 5% in that brown area. So quite significant. And then the flooding is going to be really bad, especially across Georgia up to the Appalachian Mountains. We're talking upwards of potentially 12 inches plus of rain here. The mountains act as a bit of a lift. It's going to drive that up, and it's really going to drive some very heavy rains and some flooding. I'm really concerned about that, as well as some very gusty winds getting into North Georgia as well. So again, we're still tracking those three areas out in the tropics. We are expecting Isaac later, sometime today, I think, or today or tomorrow. But again, Helene is going to be the main issue there. And because of where this thing's making landfall, again, we're talking about a significant storm surge. I was showing this earlier, is the fact that you look at the difference here. This is a Cat 1, and you kind of see there, and you kind of get an idea of where this is, where all the water kind of curves in there. You see Cat 2, and then you see Cat 3. I mean, it jumps up quite a bit, goes to 3. And if this thing got to a 4, I mean, look how far inland the water goes from the storm surge, because all that water just kind of curves and just kind of funnels right into that area. So storm surge is going to be significant there. Luckily, the population, there's not a whole lot of population in that part of Florida. So that's the good news there. So you folks over in Panama City, again, you're going to have an offshore wind. You're going to have to worry about that over in your neck of the woods. I just created this new graphic. I want to kind of illustrate this everything. I just worked on this, kind of breaking this down for you, okay? Flooding risk, going to be quite significant. We're talking North Georgia, West North Carolina, Western South Carolina. There'll be heavy rains all across Alabama and Georgia, but where it's going to be the most significant, running very high, is going to be the neck of the woods. Wind damage, because the fact that it's accelerating as it's going in, and the wind damage in Georgia and Florida, pretty much area, Florida Panhandle specifically, I should update that. Florida, eastern Florida Panhandle, and much of Georgia is going to be under the gun with some very gusty winds, potential hurricane winds going significantly inland on that. Tornado risk, again, we just illustrated that. That's going to be for southeast Georgia, Florida, and parts of South Carolina, and there across the Florida Panhandle. So that's their surge, as I just mentioned, as you just saw. That's going to be tremendous there because of the curvature of the coast. That's going to be running quite high. And again, because of the speed, this thing's going to pick up speed as it's moving inland, and because it's going to be a significant major hurricane, and we're going to have widespread power outages that's going to run all the way from Florida through most of the Florida Panhandle, all the way through most of the state of Georgia, and perhaps even getting into the Carolinas and parts of Tennessee. So the power outages, I think, will be quite significant across the area. Let's talk about the model data. Let's go ahead and break this down. Let's go ahead and look at everything again. This is the 12Z, latest data just coming in here on the models, and they're pretty much all in agreement here. There might be some minor deviations, obviously, when you get some of the wobbles with the eye in the center of circulation there. So again, you're going to be looking at that track going right through there, right there. And let me shut that down. I got the Coast Guard guy coming in here a little bit. All right, so again, whoops, get off that. And let's go back here. So here are the latest strengths here, getting awfully close to Cat 4 status on this. Quite significant indeed. This is the 12Z. So this is just the latest hot off the presses. So we're definitely looking at a lot of agreement here that we're going to get a Cat 3 hurricane at minimum. There's an outside chance it may get to Cat 4. It really kind of depends on how it organizes this afternoon as it moves away from the Yucatan Peninsula to see exactly how that's going to be. All right, let's look at this is the latest 12Z North American model. We're going to go ahead and break this down. We're going to watch this thing and watch this thing kind of go on up. Again, we're going to watch the track on this. And it's right there in that curvature of the Big Bend. That's where it's kind of going in at. Look at the time there. It does appear to be a little bit slower. So we were looking at 8 o'clock earlier. Now it looks like potentially getting closer to 9 o'clock on here for that coming in there. So again, that'll be moving inland, and then it kind of rotates around that curve. It kind of comes back, goes right between Columbus and Macon, and goes right through Atlanta. Significant flooding, folks. This is going to be a big deal across the area of Georgia. And again, with that holding on to that pressure, 975 across central Georgia, man, you're looking at hurricane force winds there. Macon getting close to Columbus. It'll be very close. I think Columbus, 50, 60 mile per hour winds in that neighborhood. Atlanta suburbs definitely could see hurricane force winds in there as well. We'll look at this. This is a comparison here with the European model. This is the 6Z model. Again, I'll bring this up again on this. And this one is a little bit faster. Of course, this is the 6Z. The other one's the 12Z. So the new run is slowing it down just a little bit. It could be a little bit later for this evening as we get to as we go to tomorrow, not tonight, tomorrow for landfall as this begins to move on inland as we go into Friday. So that's going to be moving up toward the north there. And moving into Tennessee as we go throughout the morning on Friday. So this is a quick mover. It's going to move right through the state. It's going to hit and run very rapidly. But even regardless, we're still looking at a foot of rain, just to show you how fast that flooding rain across North Georgia is going to be with this thing moving on through. Let's look at the winds. Let's talk about the winds. This is the NAM here. This is the wind gusts. I got it highlighted right there specifically on Georgia. Let's take this in real close. We'll watch the Florida panhandle come on in. There's the eye. Landfall getting close to about 11 o'clock. Again, you're looking at winds by 11 o'clock there in Columbus. You're looking at 41, 43 mile per hour winds. Then gets in the mid 50s. But look at the core of the hurricane force winds here, getting across a big part of Georgia, North Florida in here, showing 90 mile per hour gusts going through here. And then watch what happens as it goes to the north. As I clear this out here, stand by that. All right. And watch this thing swing up here. A big part of metro Atlanta, at least the eastern suburbs here. Gwinnett County, looking at areas there, getting close to hurricane force gusts. You got hurricane force winds here across central Georgia, getting close to Augusta, Georgia as well, with some very gusty winds there. And this will move up toward the north. So I've been kind of calling this like Opal 2. I mean, there's the center of circulation of what's left of it here, going close to metro Atlanta as we go toward tomorrow morning, on Friday morning, I should say, and in a couple of days as that goes on inland. So this is going to be quite significant. There's going to be widespread power outages throughout the state of Georgia with this and across portions of metro Atlanta. Obviously, we got a lot of trees. That's going to allow that down, and then they'll see that kind of go up to the north there. Let me pull this back out to the regional area real quick so I can show you the winds here. Go back to southeast here again, and look at the wind still up here. Now remember, I was telling you this thing's going to merge with that upper low. Look at these winds still blowing here on the NAM, showing. Look at these. Oh, wow, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, going in throughout Friday morning, showing winds 50, 60 miles per hour winds. That's going to bring down some power lines, especially any weakened trees or anything else up that way. So again, as these two systems begin to merge together, and that's what they're going to do, you're going to see the winds will finally begin to settle on down here a little bit. But man, we're looking at some tremendous amount of winds that are going to be blowing up through that area here as we go in throughout the day on Friday. Quite significant indeed. So again, folks, I got to tell you, we'll go back here. If you're just joining us latest on this, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I am going to continue to do these updates. I'll do one again at 2 o'clock for the 2 o'clock advisory. And then tonight at 5 o'clock, between 5 and 8 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a 3-hour kind of extensive coverage here. So we're going to watch to see what happens. By that time, the storm will be getting away from the Yucatan far enough. We'll see if we're going to see some rapid intensification if the pressure starts dropping like a rock, seeing if we're going to see some stuff in there as far as the overall impact of the storm as it moves out into the open Gulf of Mexico. I see we got some folks here chiming in here. I want to say hello to some folks before we got, hey, Cove, I know you got folks in Georgia and North Carolina. Just tell folks to get ready, man, just to be ready for this. There's Trippy Hippie. How are you? Pull out. Yeah, y'all go ahead and pull out the cash. Card machine will be down. Yeah, that's true. Not a bad idea. I would say, here's the big thing, folks, for today. If you're anywhere in the path, Florida, Alabama, Eastern Alabama, Georgia, Carolinas, even going up into Tennessee, Kentucky, I just showed you where those 50, 60 mile per hour winds are. If you got any lawn furniture, bring it in. If you got any trash cans, bring it in, secure it. If you got any fall decorations, which I got to go out and do mine, bring those in, or you're going to end up down in somebody else's yard, cracking into your car or damaging your house. So bring all that stuff in. Just make sure you kind of take it easy a little bit. I got to tighten up my green screen. That's what's causing that little effect there on the channel. I'll take care of that. Panama City. Hey, good to see you there. Panama City in the house. There's Panama City there in the house. Hey, welcome. I used to work down in that market back in the day. And hey, Terry, along this, yep, it's going to be over some Gulf waters for a while. And thank you for that new subscriber. I do appreciate you guys helping to support the channel. We're hoping to get to 5,000. We really are. We're hoping to get to 5,000 subscribers here on the channel by the end of this event. Hopefully we'll get there. My 1-year anniversary as a YouTuber is on October 1st. So it'll be nice to get to 5,000. That'd be a nice little goal to get to. I darn sure don't like getting it on the heels of anybody being in harm's way or in a destructive path of a hurricane like this. Obviously not. But hope to provide good, solid coverage for you guys. Answer your question one-on-one. I go with the motto of your personal weatherman because I'm a small channel. I don't have the thousands and thousands and thousands. So folks, if you got questions, I can go through here and answer your questions. Culver, you're in Southwest Virginia. You might get to, I don't think the rains will be quite as bad up your way up in Virginia, but you're going to get some rains as this thing moves inland, obviously. Thomasville, Georgia. Hey, Thomasville, good to see you there, Thomasville. Hate to leave the room there. I'm sorry I didn't see your stuff earlier, but Thomasville definitely needs to make sure they batten down the hatches. You're going to be in prime ground for this one, absolutely. Columbus, LaGrange, you're on the east side of the storm there, LaGrange, so that's on the weaker side, but again, you're looking at some gusty winds in your area as well as this thing is moving on up your way, so don't hesitate. Here's another one, here, old school, northeast Alabama. Kind of depends on how things are going. If you stay on the left side, you notice the track there, the center of the tropical storm force winds getting over you by 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, so again, just make sure that you take precautions. Just be ready as this thing comes on your way. All right, kind of scanning through here a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to be reposting this over on Facebook here shortly. I could not dual broadcast this time because the dock disappeared and I have to reset my OBS to bring it back up, and I wasn't going to do that. I was too close to broadcast time, so I will do that on Facebook. So anyway, I'm going to try to get everybody's questions here as we go along here. I'm kind of going through the chat here a little bit. And Tony Papa, good, thank you. You're very welcome. Hey, Janelle, good to see you. Good to see Janelle and my regulars in here. Good to see everybody. Going on a flight. Oh, got a flight Atlanta Friday. Not sure. Oh, Terry, if you got a flight Atlanta Friday, count on it being canceled. I'm just going to tell you right now. Just count on it being canceled. You get this, especially if it hits in the morning, got a lot of flights, it'll cascade and there'll be a lot of cancellations. Expect a lot of canceled flights on Atlanta on Friday. If you got to come through Atlanta, that's not a good thing. So let's see here. Trump is asking about power outages in Panama City. Possible, couldn't rule it out. But again, this is going to be a pretty good size hurricane. It's got a pretty good size wind field. It is bigger than Francine as far as size is concerned. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit in the definitely something in there. And Thomasville, you definitely need to batten down the hatches. Okay, make sure you be careful there and make sure you're ready to react once this thing moves up your way, because those hurricane force winds are going to be pretty close to you. Okay, now if it wobbles a little bit further to the east anymore, maybe the impacts won't be quite as bad, but that track's going to be awfully close. The center's going to be awfully close to Columbus. If it goes any more to the east, that's not going to be good. Columbus right now, I'm thinking 50, 60 mile per hour winds for that area. All right. Okay, that is going to be your update for now. Again, if you're coming into the channel after the fact, after the live broadcast, I will be back again at 2:05 for the 2 o'clock update. Please subscribe with your share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd like to be one of your sources there. And again, we'll be ready for a 2 o'clock update. And then again, like I said, at 5 o'clock, get ready for about a 3-hour broadcast. I'll do that from 5 till 8. Try to get a good night's rest. And then on Thursday, it's going to be wall to wall, starting about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're just going to go. I'm going to try to set up my channel to where when I need to take breaks, I'll just have like a little short weather wheel kind of rotating through. going through when I'm down on that, and then go back to regular broadcast. Thank you for that new subscriber. Then I do appreciate that. We're up to 4433. Again, we're hoping to get to 5,000. We'll see if we can get there during this event for today, tomorrow, and hopefully things will be settled on Friday. I could potentially lose power where I'm at on Friday. Okay, so it's possible. Even though I'm just doing that wall-to-wall on Thursday, going into Thursday night, I do not know if I'll be able to do any kind of coverage live on Friday, as I could potentially be looking at power outages in my area by Friday morning. So just want to put that out there as well. All right, that is your 11 o'clock advisory. You guys take it easy. We'll see you again at the 2 o'clock time. Oh, by the way, I do leave my chat ninja up. If anybody comes in after the fact to watch this, if you got a question, you can post it down below. I've been responding to questions even though I'm out of the loop. Hey, what there? Sweet Black. Hey, welcome to the show there, Sweet Black. Appreciate you coming on board the channel there. Appreciate you. All right, I do love that when that my Streamlabs works. Sometimes it don't work, sometimes it does. So, but I do appreciate you folks coming on board. All right, that's your update for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you at 2 o'clock for your 2 o'clock update. Till then, y'all be good, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.